This is crazy. This is crazy. This is
Today we're going to look at the top 10 questions that a Maryland workers' compensation attorney faces every day. And one thing we've noticed in our practice over the course of time, that regardless of the injury, whether it's soft tissue or a broken bone, it seems that our staff and our attorneys frequently are asked the same questions. And Elizabeth and I put together 10 of the questions that we frequently see, and she'll ask me the question, and I think I'll go through briefly some of the answers that we give to the general public on these basically 10 questions, so that maybe it can be informative for everybody, and this is what we see basically on a daily basis. Elizabeth, let's go over today the top 10 questions a Maryland workers' compensation attorney sees every day.
Okay. Can I sue my employer because I was hurt at work?
No, you can't sue your employer if you were hurt outside of making a workers' compensation claim. In other words, the statute provides you can make a workers' compensation claim. You don't have to prove you're at fault, but your remedies are solely within workers' compensation. There is no separate lawsuit that you can make.
What do I do if I'm injured at work and my employer doesn't have workers' compensation insurance?
All employers in the state of Maryland are required to have workers' compensation insurance. In the event they don't, there's a special fund that kicks in that's called the Uninsured Employers Fund. The Uninsured Employers Fund steps in to assist you, and our office makes a claim with them. The employer themselves will be fined for not having workers' compensation insurance.
How soon can I recover my lost wages?
Depends. Every case is different, and often depends on you filing the proper documentation with workers' compensation. If you use our office, we make sure all the notices and all the documents get in right away, and therefore you generally get paid quicker.
What is the Maryland Workers' Compensation Commission and what do they do?
In a sense, that's the court system for workers' comp. They're not judges, they're commissioners. Everything gets filed with the Workers' Compensation Commission.
Do I really need a work injury attorney to represent me, or can I handle my Maryland workers' compensation on my own?
I don't think you can navigate through the workers' compensation process without an attorney. There's too many forms. It's basically looking at statutes. You need an attorney if you're going to file a workers' compensation claim.
If there is a dispute with the insurance company and hearing before the Maryland Workers' Compensation Commission is requested, how long does it normally take to get a hearing date?
There's no way to tell you how long it takes. I can tell you that it varies from case to case. Generally in our office, if there's some sort of time period that we have to get it done quicker, we'll file a request for an emergency hearing.
If I call the Maryland Workers' Compensation Commission, can I expedite the hearing process?
No, you can't. They won't help you.
Can I get legal advice from them?
Same answer. No, you can't call them and get legal advice.
I received an order from the Workers' Compensation Commission. When can I expect to receive my compensation?
15 days from the date of the order is when you can get when you should be able to get compensation.
What if I'm not happy with the result?
You can file an appeal to the circuit court.
What if I speak only English, Chinese, or Korean? How can I go forward with my claim?
You're not in trouble, but you do need to use an office like our office that has paralegals who speak Korean, Chinese, or Spanish.
crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.